Live for Dark Easy Studios in Eddyville, Kentucky. It's time for another episode of Dark Easy's Evolution of Survivor Strategy. Tonight's episode, we're breaking down Survivor Fiji, one of a very underrated season with some great characters of Earl, Galman, and Dreams, the Truck Deal, the notorious Truck Deal, and really the first of the Fiji Idol, a modern idol that we still use in Survivor 40. Your host, Dark Easy. Hello, Easy Nation. Welcome to another episode of Dark Easy's Evolution of Survivor Strategy. It's probably been the longest break I've had in watching Survivor from doing this podcast. I think it's been about a week and a few days since my last episode. And, you know, Fiji is not one of the best seasons. I really like Survivor Fiji. I think it's a very underrated season. But it's not one of the best seasons. It does have some problems, like the cast. Some of the members of the cast aren't the greatest, but you know it's still a very enjoyable season. So this is the first and last Survivor season to have an odd number cast, and mostly because one of the girls who was playing it, she had a breakdown, and so she was not able to play in Survivor 40. Or Survivor 14 Fiji. So they didn't have a replacement because it was just a day or two before the show was getting ready to start. So they go with 19. So the whole premise of the first half of the season was the haves versus have-nots. Not the greatest twist ever, because it's not even Survivor at this point. The whole idea of the have-nots is you have one tribe who has everything. Basically, they give them the greatest shelter ever made in Survivor history. They have showers, they have food, they have fire, they have everything you would want. And it's not even like it was barely Survivor. There's a line that Boo says, it's not even survival, it's thrival. And then you have the other tribe, which is the Ravu camp, which was basically, they had nothing, like literally nothing. They were luckily they found some pineapples. That's it. That's literally the only thing they had. And it took about 9 days to make fire. And if Michelle hadn't made that fire, they probably would have lost every challenge. And if they did not do that tribe mix up, they probably would not have gone well. And there's some very interesting characters in this, like on the Ravu camp, like Rocky. Rocky, one of the funniest Survivor characters I've seen on the show. Really like him. And then also you have another character of I liked a lot of people on this cast. I really like Mookie. I thought Mookie was very good. Boo, Dreams, Earl, and one of the guys that I really liked the most was the mix between Earl and Yowman. That little alliance where Earl says in the final episode, but they're basically like Rush Hour. And basically, you know, they shared each other. Earl would get the tribe away in order for them to find the immunity idol, because this season, the immunity idol wasn't hidden at Exile Island. You go to Exile Island, you get the clues there. But you take those clues and you apply them at camp. So it kind of creates this whole dynamic, which, you know, we see in current day Survivor. And it's basically, you hide the immunity idol at camp. You're going to have to paint yourself as a target, because people are going to be like, is the immunity idol here? If people see you looking for an idol, it's going to make you look desperate. So it kind of creates this whole kind of paranoia thing that so far we have not seen, because you know who might have the idol. Now anybody can have the idol. So it was a very good twist, and it started with Fiji putting the idol on the camp. And also the idol completely changes this season. It's no longer it's not the idol that we saw in Guatemala where you could play it before the vote, where it's basically just a regular immunity. It's not the super idol where you could play after the votes have been read and you've been voted out. No, this is what we would now know as the regular immunity idol. In order to play this idol, you play the idol before, once the votes have been cast, you give the idol to Jeff. If the idol is real, all votes cast against you are negated. And so this created this idea of this, you know, the idol, and the idol is found by three people actually. We'll get to that in a little bit. So basically the tribe mixes up, the Moto tribe and the Ravu tribe get mixed up, and Ravu goes to is basically strong armed by this alliance known as the Four Horsemen. You have Mookie, you got Dreams, you got Alex and Edgardo. And, Four, they try to run the game very well, but they made a crucial mistake. They trusted Dreams. But they ran that alliance, they ran that tribe, they get to the merge. And Earl and Yao-Man, very smart game players, because Earl knows he is very analytical, he's very statistically wise, kind of like what Yule was the season before, but Earl played one of the most probably dominant Survivor games. Like, it's not like dominant, like he played it flawlessly because no one really suspected him as a guy who was running the show. So Earl played a very, very, very clean game. So yeah, I very much enjoyed Earl. I mean, Yao-Man, but yeah, and it was perfect for Earl's game because he had Yao-Man. Yao-Man, older guy, was actually pretty nifty at the challenges, found immunity idols. People knew he had the immunity idol. And that's another thing that happened this season. Once the Four Horsemen Alliance loses and Mookie plays the idol, or he doesn't play the idol, he gives the idol to Alex. Alex plays the idol, and because they knew that Alex had the idol because Dreams told them. And so then we reintroduce these strategies of splitting the vote that Cowboy had in Survivor Cook Islands, where we split the vote, but it kind of splitting the vote, it's always a risky thing to do because if you split the vote, it makes it easier to turn or to keep the person you want to take out might be able to stay, because instead they're like, well, I'm just going to go vote. Like Alex, the vote was going to be between Alex and Mookie. Mookie votes out Boo, but Alex votes out Mookie. Self-preservation, you can't blame the guy, but it kept him alive for a few more days. So yeah, and then one of the worst twists of the season was when Michelle goes home. It feels like I'm going all over this episode, this season, but Michelle probably would have made Final 3, Final 4, and there was that twist where once they merged, they got split into two teams, and the team she was divided on did not have the numbers, so she had no chance of surviving this episode, really. Mookie and Alex, they look through Yao-Man's bag. They find out he has the immunity idol. So it kind of paints a target on his back in a little bit. The Four Horsemen Alliance, they get wiped out. At Final 6, Yao-Man wins the truck. And he tells Dreams, he says, Dreams, how bad do you want this car? He's like, I'll make a deal with you. If me and you are both in the Final 4, and you happen to win the immunity, you will give it to me, and I will give you this truck. And Dreams says, I swear to God, I swear on my life, swear on my children, I will completely carry on with this bet. So Dreams makes the deal. Final 6 happens, and Dreams is like, okay, there's a loophole. If I take out Yao-Man before Final 4, I don't have to give him immunity if he's not there. But loose lips stink ships, and Stacy and everything, they were not looking in Yao-Man in the eye, and he just kind of had a feeling. So he plays the idol, and so Yao-Man becomes the first person in Survivor history to play the immunity idol who was going home. If Yao-Man does not play the immunity idol, he goes home this episode. And so Yao-Man plays the idol, Stacy gets sent home, and there you have it. Final 5, he wins the immunity. Earl found an idol. He plays it. He's safe to Final 4, keeping that alliance safe. Then at Final 4, Dreams wins that immunity. And guess what happens? He does not give the immunity to Yao-Man, knowing he's going home. And really, if Dreams hadn't made that deal, I think Dreams probably might have gotten a vote or two, but maybe not. Maybe Dreams would have been taken out at Final 5. Maybe they would have taken Boo to the Final 4 instead, because that probably was a smarter bet, because Boo probably would have kept his word over someone like Dreams. So, yeah, guys, this and Earl, he wins unanimously. Earl played, up to this point, the closest person to ever play a perfect game. And what a perfect game is, you were never targeted. And he really wasn't targeted. He had one vote. He had one vote from Sylvia. If you take that one vote away from him, He played a perfect Survivor game. But because he got that one vote, it does not make it a perfect game. But he almost played a perfect game. But a perfect game is you don't ever receive a vote. And then the second thing is you get all the jury votes. He got 9 jury votes. He won in a landslide. Dreams and Cassandra did not win 1 vote. And so, yeah, that's this season of Survivor. Survivor Fiji, very, like I said, underrated season. I really enjoy Fiji. All right, guys, this is this episode of the evolution of Survivor Strategy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm getting ready to hit China. So, looking forward to watching that. And, guys, make sure you check that like button, subscribe, tell your friends about Easy Nation. And, guys, until next time, all too easy.